Welcome to What is Going On in the UC, and today we are going to talk about the big what if. What if, in 1945, Big Moon Kim had helped True Father and his revelation be accepted on the world stage? That's the same as asking what if John the Baptist would have helped Jesus be accepted by the people, nullifying the effect of the Pharisees. Which is the same as asking, what if the Archangel Lucifer resisted the temptation to tempt Adam to leave his position in the coming world that had not yet come to exist? It is important to understand that if Big Moon Kim and Christianity had accepted True Father at that point would have begun to remove the original sin, to bless people. People would come to understand that the most powerful expression of love is the giving of God's blessing. And they would come to understand that that role is available to each and every one of us. It is our original design as human beings to become like God, parents, creators, and givers of the highest expression of love, and to give our children the blessing. This entire concept has the seed of a new culture. It would have affected politics, would have swept through all cultures, all for the express purpose of preserving our greatest love potential. And because of the meekness and the organic simplicity in this idea, we see why Jesus said in Matthew 5:5 that the meek shall inherit the earth. Now please forgive me for assuming that this might go over some people's heads, but the genius is in the simplicity. If Christianity had accepted True Father would have made a beeline for connecting human beings with their most profound source of emotional power. Simple, done deal. But what happened in our movement is a plan B. The foundation was lost. There was no qualified John the Baptist figure. The possibility of Father being a media darling and hoisted upon the shoulders of people who already had respect, which is the whole concept of John the Baptist, that was gone. So Father had to rebuild the foundation with himself playing the role of John the Baptist. And he tried to usher in his own messiahship. That is why the main business of the Unification Church was not the perfection stage. And if Father was accepted, we would have entered immediately the perfection stage development. In order to rebuild that foundation, he had to teach so-called church members how to fulfill foundation of faith and foundation of substance in such a potent, quick way that he was able to build 4,000 years of lost foundation within 40 years. There are many traditions in the church which are rooted in the formation stage prescriptions and the growth stage prescriptions, as many religions, all religions have. And there is an entire machinery of how we interact in order to produce indemnity condition. The entire mindset that has to labor to produce indemnity conditions would not have been a factor if Father was accepted in 1945. At that point, the condition would have been made where the John the Baptist figure would have proved that he was able to do what Satan could not do. So everything from that point that the successful John the Baptist figure and the Messiah did together would be beyond accusation, since the John the Baptist figure proved that he was a bigger man than Lucifer was in the Garden of Eden. As you can see, indemnity means that we have to repeat this pattern. Lucifer failed, so it fell to John the Baptist to be faced with the same feelings. John the Baptist failed, so it fell to Big Moon Kim to confront the same feelings. Big Moon Kim failed, so who's the one who's supposed to be confronted and overcome these feelings? Well, in 1992, there were people who did not accept the new things that Father was saying. Actually, the new things that Father was saying are things that he patiently kept because there was no foundation to share them. Actually, he started sharing those things in such a unique way that he only allowed Japanese sisters to attend these special workshops. And it's because he had to treat that content as if it was so special that only the most trusted people could be present. At that conference, Father taught about the world that would be if there was no fall. The same content that Father would have taught if he was accepted by Christianity in 1945. Now, the machinery that the church is a foundation rebuilding machinery and a foundation rebuilding activity. And it's a foundation rebuilding mindset, much like the labor that the angels were under when they created the universe. But when it comes time for a shift away from that building project, and it comes time to see things the way that God sees them, it falls to the angels to surrender to the creature that has the ability to catch the heart of God, and that would be the children of God. It is not the position of angels to knock the children out of their position and out of contention to fulfill their portion of responsibility while their minds are still immature and unclear about their own potential. But that is exactly the temptation that the Archangel Lucifer faced. Now, when we talk about the dominion of the Archangel, what we're really talking about is the tendency to put the priorities of the angel over the priorities of God, which is the same as saying putting the priorities of the angel over the priorities of humankind, the being who is supposed to express true familyism, which is the original vibe that human beings are supposed to have, inherited from God. So in conclusion, what I'm about to tell you is simple. When the Bible says the meek shall inherit the earth, it really means that this simple concept of true family values, chastity before marriage, fidelity within marriage, respect for parents, parent-child relationship is the ultimate anchor of all psychological stability. These simple truths, simple as they are, the genius in this plan, it's in surrendering to the power that's in the simplicity. From the angel's point of view, these simple concepts are just not grandiose enough. That is because they suffer from a linear way of thinking. One thing has to outdo the next. One expression has to outdo a previous expression, and so forth and so on. And they suffer from looking for some big thing to happen. It's sort of like Olympic sprinting versus roller skating. The Olympic sprinter tries to change his running technique to get across the finish line faster and faster and faster. He fails to realize that if he puts on roller skates and utilizes the circle for its ability to conserve energy, he'll be able to build up more and more momentum, borrowing from his past, and he will overtake even the fastest Olympic runner. Well, the simple idea is that the emotional energy that is in families is able to fuel. It's a perpetual motion machine that is able to emotionally fuel, psychologically fuel everything that this universe needs. Everything. And so, by accepting that, it is true. The meek shall inherit the earth. Alright, like, subscribe, share. Talk to you later.